How's it going, YouTube? James is back. This video is going to be geared towards people that are brand new to running. When it comes to diving into running, it's a great sport to get into, not only for physical health, but for mental health. But one of the big things that's super important when starting the sport is buying the right running shoe. Now, runners come in all different shapes and sizes, so not one shoe is going to work perfect for everybody. So I'm going to give you some tips and tricks to consider when it comes to buying your first pair of running shoes so that you can get out there and tackle your goals, try to do it injury-free. So let's go ahead and dive right into the video. Alright, so if you're new to running, I'm going to throw out some words and let me know if you've ever heard of them before. Pronation, supination, heel striker, midsole striker, stabilizer. These are all words that are thrown out in the running community when it comes to your foot in a shoe specifically. So I'm going to break down to you super easy how to identify where you stand with some of these key terms so that you can be more educated when it comes to buying the right running shoe that's going to help you cross that finish line. So first and foremost, let's talk about pronation and supination. I want you to grab any shoe that you wear every day and I want you to hold it up and look at it from the back and look at the sole. And let me know, does your shoe wear on the inside? Does it wear on the outside? Or does it wear evenly? It's going to let me know whether you pronate, supinate, or you're neutral. Now for those of you that looked at the back of your shoe and you noticed that it's wearing on the inside, that means you pronate. So you naturally walk on the inside of your heels. For those of you that wore on the outside, that means you supinate. So that means you naturally walk on the outside of your heels. But the nice thing about shoes and technology these days, especially when it comes to running shoes, is they have built-in technology to help correct those who supinate and pronate. So for you, when it comes to buying a running shoe, you're actually going to want to know which foot style you have. That way you can buy the correct shoe that's going to help your foot be healthier and safer in the long run. Now, another thing to consider when buying a running shoe is there's different levels of cushion or lack thereof. So it's very common you see with different running companies to have a barefoot style running shoe, a mid-level style running shoe, and an extreme cushion style running shoe. Now, depending on your personal preference, will decide which shoe you choose to go with. Now, one thing to consider is based on your size and weight, this might dictate which shoe you should naturally gravitate to first. So for example, if you choose a barefoot runner and you have bad knee problems or bad hip problems, having no cushion underneath your foot is probably not going to be the best fit for you. So you're probably going to gravitate to a mid-level cushion or a max-level cushion. Now, if you're not sure which one you are, go ahead and start with a mid-level cushion. You're going to immediately feel that there is cushion underneath your foot, and you're also going to feel some responsiveness. That's going to make your runs a little bit more snappy when you are out there on the road. Then we have the max level cushion. So that's going to be like stepping on a pillow or a marshmallow. It's not going to be as responsive, but it's going to make for a smoother run. So if you do have knee problems or hip problems, an extreme level cushion shoe could be the right fit for you. Now the big thing is listen to your feet and listen to your body once you try these shoes on, because it's going to help dictate whether or not you stay in that style of shoe or you try something different. Know that at the beginning of your running journey, it's okay to experiment with different styles of shoes to see which one is really the right fit for you. I have a lot of friends that are experienced marathon runners, and there's times where their foot just seems to change and they go through trying on 4 to 5 different types of shoes until they find the right one that fits them. There's a lot of different aspects that come into what is the right fit. How does your feet feel after? Does it make your feet blister? Is it too small? Does your feet breathe okay in the shoe? Again, it's different for everybody. So just know that your foot is not the same as your friend's foot. That's not the same as your other friend's foot. So it's important to figure out what works best for you. And 2, when it comes to running, it's important to know that fashion versus function, it's not always the best thing to go with fashion first when it comes to running, because your feet are everything to a runner. So it's important that you get in the right shoe that does help take care of your feet. So one major thing to consider if you are getting into running, now that you know some of these facts, I'm going to encourage you to go to your local running store and try to get fitted for a shoe. Working with an expert in the long run is definitely going to help you, and they have technology and devices that they can use to help gauge what style of foot is yours and what actual shoe is going to be best fit for you. Again, just know that this is a recommendation. Always trust your feet once you get in the shoe to let you know if you want to move forward with it. I also encourage people, double check the return policy on any shoe company where you go and buy a shoe. The main reason is a shoe will feel one way inside the store, and once you get a few runs in it outside of the store, it sometimes will feel different. And it's important that if you're going to go out and spend all this money to ensure you're in the right shoe, that they have a return policy that's adequate, that you can ensure that you are able to have the option to return the shoe if it's actually not working out for you. I know specifically that Nike does have a 30-day return policy even if the shoe is worn. That's one of the big things I do love about Nike, is that you can get the shoe, test it out for a month, and if it's not working, you can send it back. But when it comes to other local running stores, you're gonna need to double check with them to see what their actual policy is. One of my big things is, if you're gonna spend all this money for a running shoe, you need to make sure you're in the right shoe, and you need to make sure that you find a company that's gonna support that, and in the long run is gonna do everything that they can to ensure you are in the right shoe to help you achieve your running goals. So that's all I got for you today. I hope this video was helpful. If it was, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. And be sure to subscribe to the channel for all future running content so that you can stay up to date. And until next time, YouTube.